So let's get started, shall we? For this challenge, I used the small-sized XL mixed media sketchbook. It measures 5.5 by 8.5 inches and has pretty thick paper that has a little bit of grit to it, so it's great for pencils, markers, and watercolors. The first few pages are characters from my D&D campaign that we're gonna skip, but afterwards I was basically upset that I couldn't get the faces of the characters the way I wanted them to. But I kind of wanted to find my own, discover my own voice when it comes to drawing human faces, and also be a lot better at capturing people's likeness. So a YouTuber I follow did the 100 Heads challenge, Jess Carp, she's great, I'm gonna link to her channel in the description. And I also really like to do challenges to see my skill evolve and grow, so I tried to do one by myself. When I started, I was quite obsessed with Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, so the first two characters actually, Young Snow and Lucy Gray. Those are the guys I started with. I really tried to play with colors. I tried to do shading in a different color than I did the highlights. This one, which is Katniss, played by Jennifer Lawrence. The highlight side to be more red and the shading side to be green. I continued on Haymitch, Effie, Cinna, and Old Snow. Effie, I am really displeased with how it turned out. Open mouths are really hard. It looks really uncanny. The lips turned out really dark. At this point, I started getting a little frustrated when I had the first 7 done. I liked some of them, but the rest I didn't. And then I was sitting at a cafe with my friend, who is a full-time concept artist, and he explained to me this pyramid. In order for lighting to look correct, the most important part is the value, how light or dark things are. So if you have a really dark saturated red and then you can have like a light green, and they will always work together because the value is the most important thing. Humans love looking at things with high contrast. Saturation is how much pigment there is, obviously desaturated is gray tones, very saturated is very bright, and hue is the actual what we call color, so either green, red, blue, purple, and so on. Because I didn't want to paint the portraits with realistic skin tones. I wanted to use crazy colors. These are the pencils that I used for most of the first portraits, Faber-Castell watercolor pencils. So I would draw the outline and then I would apply some water and dissolve it. Having learned a lot from this talk with my friend and taking this value part really seriously, like it doesn't really matter what colors you use, it matters how dark or light everything is. So let's keep going. This is Rue from the Hunger Games. It was a very dramatic portrait, lit from the bottom. I don't know, turned out kind of okay. The next couple of faces are characters from Grey's Anatomy. Meredith Grey, played by Ellen Pompeo, her friend Christina, Derek, her husband. I knew that mouths were really difficult for me, so I tried picking poses that were not just very simple, but also like very hard ones. And this is the one where I at first felt like a huge turning point. You see the value here is almost exactly bright white as you see like on the bouncing ball, and there's very dark in the deep shadows or occlusion parts. Yeah, we got Addison, Bailey, Ben, Alex, Izzy, George. These two, not that great. I tried to use really soft combos for some of them, but in the end it kind of turned out like really washed out, but I do like her hair. Then this one, another big turning point. I paired purple and orange for Callie. I really like this color combo. I think I use it a few more times, but I definitely should use it a lot more. This is Arizona, Mark. For him, I used light blue, and then I have these water-soluble pencils, but they don't pair super well with watercolor pencils, so it looks a little weird. This is Lexi, April. Yeah, I tried too hard to make the green and the red like each other in this one. Kind kind of looks okay. This is Owen, Teddy, Richard. I do not like this page. They look really washed out. Also, after this, I got a new set of pencils. This one, it's Faber-Castell as well, but they are the high quality Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils. I was watching the latest season of For All Mankind, and I feel like with this guy, there's another big jump in quality. First of all, the new pencils help a lot. They are a little softer and have like a lot more pigment, so when you apply them, it's almost like chalky. It's really satisfying. They blend perfectly when you apply water. I use these brushes that have water inside. So draw first sketch in my primary color, and then I apply a second color, and in layers of water in between. More For All Mankind characters. Tracy and Karen I quite like. I really should do more of these portraits with two characters interacting. Also helps me practice hands, but the focus is obviously on the faces. I like the shadows on her face. It really adds to the emotion. This is Molly, Deke, Danielle I quite like. The pairing of colors I chose for this one. And some of the shading, I made the choice to not apply water afterwards and leave it kind of a little rougher, which I do more and more starting with her. So definitely learning a lot with every new portrait. Also on these, I believe I started spending a lot of time on each portrait. So in the beginning, it was maybe like 5 to 10 minutes, but these were like 20 to 30 minutes plus. A lot of them I kind of overworked. I really struggle with green for some reason. Almost all green characters I make, too much of the color on their face. I don't let it breathe a lot. I don't know why. Then these guys are from newest 2 seasons, the Russian crew. Really like their characters. I like that in this show there's no like good and bad guys, but there's like good and bad on both sides. I did some Breaking Bad characters. We got Walter, Jesse, Hank, Gus, Skylar, and Marie. Purple and orange on her again. And these, I was on vacation and I was hanging out at a ski hut because my legs were hurting. And I was kind of bored and I didn't have any of my drawing supplies, but this really nice server gave me some receipt papers and a pen. So I sketched based on photos I had, me and my friends, the ones I was skiing together. Some of them turned out okay. They definitely turned out better than they would have if I had made them before this challenge. Definitely have learned a lot at this point, like how to add shadows and stuff, but just because they were ballpoint pen and you couldn't erase any lines or like smudge them away with water, which is what I do if I mess up a line on any of these portraits, obviously they're not perfect, but I'm glad I did them. Changed up mediums a little bit. And then Saul, really like the way these two turned out. I think they capture the actors' expressions that the reference picture was based on. They capture it like really almost perfectly, like if I may say so myself. Like some I finish and I'm like, damn, especially looking at this guy and then like going like 10 pages back, like there's like night and day between those. And I remember when I was really proud of these, so it's just really nice. Like I mostly do these things for myself because I like to go back, and I also like colorful things, and I like to go through all the colors and see. So fly high, fall low. As I said, struggle again with overworking her face so much. Then like I keep trying to remove some of the color, but it's hard. And also you want to make like a soft transition because people's faces are usually soft. But these two turn out okay. Sometimes I challenge myself to do only one color, like with Saul and Walt Jr. Usually I do like one color for the light, like yellow and then brown, but he's just light pink and dark pink, and he's light blue and dark blue. It makes for a really interesting box to put yourself in. Onward, Baldur's Gate. I was replaying the game, started an honor mode run, and then obviously these are not real people, these are the reference pictures are video game characters, but really absolutely enjoyed working on these, especially because the designs are so fun and so colorful. So we've got Carla, Gale, Will, Mesora's hand, Lae'zel, Astarion, best boy, and Shadowheart. I liked picking colors that worked for the characters and then making these spreads. Then Minthara, Halsin, Jaheira, Minsk, and Lil Boo, Dame Aelin, and Mizora. She's the worst of the bunch. I think I had kind of exhausted my luck at that point. I really enjoyed working with these golden tones and making the scars on his forehead look three-dimensional, or like drawing the helmet on her was awesome as well. Onwards to Critical Role. The voice actors are amazing to watch, and I was also watching Legend of Vox Machina, so we got Matthew Mercer, Ashley Johnson, Sam Riegel. I think he's my favorite of the bunch on this page. I like how much the skin on him is allowed to breathe. And his eyes are quite asymmetrical when you look at the reference picture. I think I was able to capture it really well in the kind expression. I've got Laura Bailey, Travis Willingham, Liam O'Brien, Taliesin Jaffe. For this one, I picked a really hard pose to do because he's like pursing his lips. So it is really easy to make it look quite goofy, but I'm super pleased with this one turned out. Abria Iyengar and Robbie Damon. And then kind of related to that, I was watching The Last of Us Season 1 on HBO, and then we got Bella and Pedro Pascal and Mushroom Guy. So the reason I actually started doing this 100-day challenge is because obviously I wanted to like find my own voice and be able to draw people better, but I also really wanted to have a new icon, and the icon should have my face in it, because so far I have been too scared of drawing humans. I've only been doing like cats or dragons or other things, but I thought, okay, like I'm an adult now, I'm a small business owner, and when people look at me, when they look at my business card or at my like Instagram picture, they should have a relationship to me, like I'm the artist. But I didn't trust myself to draw my own face in a way that was not super uncanny. So my partner took this reference picture and I really liked it because it has my cat looking all goofy. I translated it into my own style. I was originally really happy with how it turned out. It's my favorite color combo, blue and purple. But now, like after being done with the challenge, if I look back at it and compare it to the reference picture, I'm like, ah man, there's so many things I could have done differently. But I guess live and learn. These are two of my friends that I hung out with in Australia, based on the reference picture. They both recently had their birthdays, so I did it as a little surprise. Also, yeah, it's kind of nice to not be afraid of drawing people anymore, because then you can like make gifts for your loved ones, and you don't have to watch them like make a weird face and try to find something nice about it to say, but you know, it's actually like kind of not painful to look at. The next is a spread of my absolute favorite band of all time, Linkin Park, and so I used colors for each of the members that remind me of their albums. So the first album is Hybrid Theory, and I believe when on my very first MP3 player and I had the songs of theirs, I believe the album cover had a lot of green in it, so I always connected the color green with that album. And then the second one is Meteora, so I always connected with like dark blue. And then comes Minutes to Midnight, Thousand Suns, Living Things, Hunting Party, and then the latest one is One More Light. And they always had like these cool tones in my mind, ranging from green to blue, maybe like a little bit of like a copper. Yeah, these are the 6 members: Chester, Mike, Joe, Brad, Dave, and Rob. And then almost done. So we were at 92 out of 100. And then, okay, so I did my favorite artists. So now I'm gonna do more of my inspiration. So this spread is dedicated to my favorite YouTubers. I watch all of them and they give me so much inspiration and desire to continue onward. This is Martina and Hansi from Nerdforge. They do a lot of crafts and they actually did a lot of the like, oh, let's try something for 100 days and see if we gotta get better at it. This is Peter from 1000. He's self-made mural artist who's recently made it really big. So he has like his own company. He's like doing so many things all the time. Huge inspiration. This is Jess Karp, who I mentioned before. She did the 100 Face Challenge initially and does a lot of sketchbook tours where she uses different media, just talking in a very genuine way about art and what it means to her when she creates it. This is Savvy from Savvy Writes Books. Really fun and quirky and badass author who reviews stuff and then talks about it in a fun way. And the last one is KP Creations. She makes posable dolls and it's just really positive even when things don't work out as planned. I always like to say, don't let the perfect stand in the way of the good, and it's better to do something than to overthink it and not do anything at all, so shout out. And then, so at the very end, I wanted to pick 2 portraits that I have done and redraw them. So this one is Tom Blythe, the young Snow, that was the #1. So let's do a straight comparison. This is him in the beginning of the challenge, and then at the very end. I tried to use the same colors, blue and brown, obviously used the new pencils. A lot of improvement. The values are so much better. I feel like I captured his pouty lip expression a lot better. That being said, I'm not entirely satisfied with it. Like when I was starting the challenge, I had all of these hopes and dreams for myself, where I would make a title for this video that goes, "Can you believe I went from this to that?" And then it would be like this amazing improvement. But instead, like the final one is not perfect. But I guess it is what it is, right? It's like real life. It's not perfect. It's better than what it was before, but I still have a long way to go as an artist. And it's not like, I would not put this in my personal professional portfolio, but everything has been a labor of love. And this is Effie Trinket, the one that I think turned out the worst. Here she is. Definitely an improvement. No longer looks like a gremlin. For this one as well. She doesn't look 100% like the actress who plays her, but that's it. I think there's a lot of things I could have done better. There's a lot of the sketchbook to still fill, and I will keep practicing, and I guess I'm trying to not be discouraged by not being perfect, if that makes sense, but just take it one step at a time. And hopefully this inspires you to go on your own journey and always keep practicing. This video took a long time to edit. It would mean a lot if you could leave a like or a comment, because obviously the YouTube algorithm has to be fed. Let me know what you think.